in-depth guide to enhancement shamans coming into the PTR. Now, I've been saying this for quite some time. I've been saying this to a lot of the people in my guild, based off the fact that I really think that the month and a half that we're going to have prior to Legion's launch in August is, like, a lot of our characters are going to feel slightly different and slightly less usable than the way that we remember them. So the main difference is we're going to talk about the differences in shamans from previous to now, what you can expect coming out. I believe it's July 19th is what the rumored date is. It's not 100% confirmed, not 100% denied for the pre-patch. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this video is because, like, shamans are going to be what I main in Legion, mainly because I've always loved enhancement shaman. I always thought they were the best class for my playstyle. Now, again, there's some slightly different things that you have to factor in this. First of all, as you can see, there's a lot less stuff on my screen, and I mean a lot less. Like, I got half the amount of things that I used to have on my screen. Why I have that on Shift V, I don't know. That doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get this back to the way I wanted it. Okay, so the main thing we're going to go on, starting with, is we're going to cover the new changes to the abilities, how our AoE is going to affect, how our talents are going to play into this, and general overall playstyle. So going to start, we're going to look at all of the different skills, starting with the very start. We're not going to cover things that really don't make a difference in our direct play. So things like, you know, Farsight, Ancestral Spirit, Ancestral Recall. We're not going to talk about them too much because they really don't matter. They're not core abilities that you're going to use while killing a boss, killing dungeons, blah blah blah, all that fun stuff. So the first thing we're going to cover here is definitely going to be Astral Shift, mainly because it's now an ability instead of a talent. It's usable pretty much every 1.5 minutes, which, coming up into Legion, like, if you've done any of the beta testing, if you've been watching any of the videos that, like, Fat Boss has been putting out, Bellegar Gaming, pretty much anyone that's been putting up videos on YouTube, you know that there's a lot of different mechanics going on in boss fights where this ability is going to really help out your team, or not your team, wow, I'm just having a bad day today. This is the worst day to film. Anyway, helping out your party, your raid, your guild, whatever you're deciding to raid with in Legion. The reason for this is there's a lot of mechanics that, like, are going to be one-shot mechanics in early on. Like, Ancestral Shift is really going to make that difference for your healers not being out of mana 3 minutes into the fight. Bloodlust really didn't change for anybody. Increases all haste 30% for all party members for 40 seconds. Still the, 10% left on a boss, hit Bloodlust, or during an early burn phase, whatever you normally use it for. Cleanse Spirit didn't change at all. Removes a friendly curse, or removes all curse effects. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. I'll give it that. So I don't think I've ever really paid too much attention to it because I've never played on the healing side of things. So, like, I'm never focused on cleansing somebody or something. But in Legion, mainly because they're all demons, we're going to be dealing with a lot of different demonic abilities that are going to be considered curses. Might be very beneficial to help out your healers and everything else to remove specific things from specific times. Crash Lightning, here's the fun. Here's the one ability that really does make a huge difference in our playstyle. So most enhancement shamans right now, it's run in, flame shock something, lava lash it, and spam the living hell out of your Fire Nova. Drop Magma Totem down 2 for the extra burst or extra amount of damage, just so you can try and top the AoE meters, which, believe it or not, enhancement shamans top those AoE meters real easily because of how many times Fire Nova procs off Fire Shock, Flame Shock. As you can see on my toolbar, there is no Flame Shock. Shocks have been removed. The only thing that we still have that's, like, quote-unquote a shock, not even a shock at all, it never has been, is Wind Shear or Interrupt. 12-second cooldown, not too bad, pretty beautiful, same thing as always, but Crash Lightning here is going to be what we actually focus on towards our AoE, because it's also going to electrocute all enemies in front of you for a medium amount of damage. If it hits 2 or more targets, It enhances our weapons for 10 seconds, causing Storm Strike and Lava Lash also deal some small amount of damage to all targets in front of you. Beautiful. Love this. It means, like, instead of having to spam an extra button, I'm hitting the same buttons I'm going to hit normally. Now, the reason why I don't find this to be too great, because it does kind of nerf our AoE, and it nerfs our AoE massively, because we were able to do a lot of damage with Flame Shock and Fire Nova across all targets. Crash Lightning, it deals medium amount of damage. It deals a little bit extra damage when you Storm Strike and Lava Lash. Here's a problem with this. The major problem with it is, you'll look at Storm Strike, which we'll cover more in depth later, 13.4 second cooldown based off of my haste. Lava Lash does not have a cooldown, so it's spammable. Great, so we can kind of spam something in AoE fights. So AoE has been nerfed down a lot for us. I will cover some other things and talents later that might help us out a little bit, but that's besides the point. Feral Spear really didn't change too much. I mean, it's down to 15 seconds over 30, so it's cut in half. It is 2-minute cooldown like it has always been. But here's the change. Here's the thing that really bugs me, is we no longer get the heal from Feral Spirit. Like it used to be, when they did damage, we would get health back. So we traded that for getting 5 Maelstrom each time they attack, which will help out in a later part of what I'm going to talk about. So Feral Spirit, not much change, a little bit shorter on the time. Still a decent enough ability for extra damage during burst phases, if you remember to pop them prior to you popping Bloodlust. Because a lot of times you'll be like, just wait, and then they pop Bloodlust, and you're like, shh, my wolves! Anyway, moving on, Flame Tongue Weapon. 10-yard range really doesn't make too much of a difference, because, I mean, it's not an instant attack, it's not an instant damage, it's an instant apply to our auto attacks. So what it's going to be is scorching the target, dealing a moderate amount of fire damage, and enhances our weapons with fire for 15 seconds. It's on a 10-second cooldown, so this means every 15 seconds or so you're going to apply this back to your weapons, because it is going to increase your overall damage. You don't want this to ever fall off. If this falls off, you're losing out on free damage. Remember, in any time you're going forward, keep Flame Tongue up all the time. Frostband Weapon, really not going to use this in PvE too much, unless you do have to kite mobs, which, realistically, if you're an Enhancement Shaman, you shouldn't be kiting mobs. If there's mobs that have to be kite, leave it to a mage, leave it to the hunters, leave it to the people with range damage. Unless they're survival hunters, then you can't really rely on them, but that's besides the point. We're not talking about hunters here. We're talking about Enhancement Shamans. Frostband Weapon, more of a PvP thing, gives us frost, includes slows. Again, not too happy with this, because that makes us very easy to kite in PvP. So if you're a PvP Enhancement Shaman, this sucks. This right here sucks, because we will be kited easily early on. I'm not going to cover the honor talents in this video, because it's not in Legion, so I don't have them, and they don't unlock till 110. So going from this on what we're talking about here, Frostband Weapon does add your weapons to do frost damage and slow them for 15 seconds with reduced movement speed. I'm sorry, it increases your frost weapon damage for... Can I talk? Can I? No? No, me either. I got it. No problem, guys. Anyway, Frostband Weapon is going to just increase a little bit of damage, enhances our weapons with frost for 15 seconds, reducing the target's movement speed by 50% for 3 seconds. The problem with this is it's great for chasing something down. Great if you're able to get on them and chase them down. Few problems, but you know, we got to get on them. So we actually have to auto-attack them to slow them. Not the best move here, Blizzard. At least with Frost Shock, we could... Frost Shock, go ahead and start the memes now. Frost Shock, we could slow them from a distance and catch up to them with Ghost Wolf. Not so much in Warlords or Legion coming up. Moving forward, Ghost Wolf here, same thing. Increases your movement speed by 30%, preventing you from falling below 100%. Nice little thing. Here comes one of my sad moments. The change to Healing Surge. Healing Surge heals a friendly target for 32,000, so a large amount of heal. Not really. This is what we're going to consider a small heal. Mainly the reason why I say that we're considering this a small heal is come Legion, we're talking about having 2.5 million health. So this 32,000 that it's going to do here, as it scales up to level 110, is probably only going to do, at most, 4%, if lucky, 4% of maximum health. So, you talk about having 1 million health, you're healing for 4% of it, it's not a huge amount. Now, if it does add into the tooltip here, if it consumes 20 Maelstrom, it becomes an instant. So, it's nice to be able to throw out that instant heal if need be on yourself in PvE, PvP, whatever you're using it for. It's not that bad of a thing, but it's not like Healing Surge as it is now, where it heals enough for you to be able to go, okay, we're fine. And the way it worked previously with 5 stacks of Maelstrom on, you could get an instant cast, no mana cost, free heal. Now it's just kind of like, here's a 1.67 cast for that oh crap moment that you're going to have that really isn't going to do much for you. Not too happy about this one, Blizzard. Not too happy about this one. Moving on, we still have our CC Hex. It is now down on a 30-second cooldown. It will directly be one person gets turned into a frog for 1 minute. Hex, the victim is incapacitated, cannot attack, cannot use spells. Damage will cancel the effect. So they did kind of change this, because it used to be when you hex somebody, you could get a couple of free shots on them before breaking it. Now it's instantaneously out. It's broken. It's gone. No more. You no longer get it. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, you really don't use it too much. It only works on humanoids and beasts, so it's only a rare occasion you'd use this anyway. Maybe in, well, low-level dungeoning or dungeoning and you need to, like, not take as much damage. Nice little thing. Lava Lash. So, any of you guys that have ever played Enhancement Shamans, any of you guys that have ever played Warriors, for that fact, this is what they call a Rage Dump. This thing right here is like when your Storm Strike is on cooldown, when everything else is on cooldown, and you really want to just hit for extra damage, and you have the Maelstrom to do it, you're going to spend your Lava Lashes to do so. This is not going to be something that you're just like, oh, yay, Lava Lashes on cooldown, use it. Which used to be how we worked. We would, you know, go ahead and just Lava Lash when it was off cooldown, do that extra burst of damage. Kind of how it is like in Warlords of Draenor. You get that proc, you do extra damage. Beautiful. Not anymore. It's more of just like, you know, a dump. It's not really, it's not your bread and butter of attack. It's not your one thing that you're going to be like, oh, yay, it's back up. Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt. Blizz, just take it away from us, Blizzard. Just, come on, take it away. We don't, like take it away. Like, come on. This is sad. This is sad. Deals small amounts of nature damage. I mean it does small amounts of nature damage. Right? Instant cast. Look at this. Look at this lovely damage. Rock Biter hits hard, and Rock Biter has no cooldown, and has farther range. Now granted, you have a 40-yard range on this, only a 10-yard range on Rock Biter. We'll cover that more in depth later, but this just isn't enough. If it spends some Maelstrom, it does some extra damage. It's not worth casting. Or no, it doesn't even. They took that away. I'm sorry. That was here a couple weeks ago. My bad. Lightning Bolt just. Oh, I'm running. Let me run. Ah! I gotta cast something. Can't hit it with a melee attack. It's too far away. Ah! Okay, now that I've made that joke, it's just useless. It's useless in my opinion. I might have to edit the sound down a little bit because I just realized my microphone is at cap. My bad. Alright, Purge. Nah, no big ding. Cost mana, instantly removing one beneficial effect. No cooldown on it. Now this did change because in original beta, this had a cooldown to where you couldn't spam it. I mean, you can still spam it. It does mana, blah 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 blah. Who cares? It's Purge, remove benefits. It's more useful in PvP than it is PvE. There are some occasions you might use it in PvE. Pay attention to your boss fights. You'll learn. Rock Biter. This. I'm an Enhancement Shaman meleeing you by throwing a rock at you. That's essentially what this animation is. Hey, look. Here's a rock on the ground. Here's a rock on the ground. Here's a rock on the ground. Yay! Anyway, the reason why this spell is important and the reason why you must use this a lot is it generates your Maelstrom. Now, granted, you can't use Storm Strike without Maelstrom. Right? So let's spend all our Maelstrom here. Okay. Oh. Cut that! That didn't happen. Anyway. There it is, shifting. So, as I said, like this is just this doesn't even heal us enough for me to care. Look at this. Look at this small amount. Useless. Apparently, I need to hit this guy from behind when doing these things. Like, not there. Yeah. Okay. So, we'll come back here for the rest of this video. Y'all can laugh, make in the comments how noob I am for not paying attention. But I got other things on my mind. I'm talking about spells here. I'm talking about spells. Rock Biter. It generates your Maelstrom. It's the whole reason you can use these other abilities on your toolbar that actually mean something. 10 yards away, can use this. So if you're chasing somebody down and they're not too far away, they're not a mage with Blink who gets farther away than you can ever get to. It's nice to have. It's very beautiful. Works out very well. Builds up your Maelstrom. Remember to just spam the living hell out of the spell until you've got to use something else. Spirit Walk, same thing as it was in Warlords of Draenor. Removes all pairing effects, increase your move speed by 60%. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't be hit by slows. You still be slowed if a future spell hits you, but this will remove them for that, oh crap, I need to get out of here moment. Storm Strike, your bread and butter. This is the one item that... Is he seriously going to turn and hit me? He is. Look at this. What is this glitch? Look at that glitch. Or maybe it's just... Maybe it's the dummies of my thing. I don't know. Anyway, Storm Strike is your bread and butter. It's what you're going to use. Let me just get out of this thing, because apparently... You know... So apparently the Dungeoneer Drone guy hit you. That's awesome. Bravo! Dummies that hit back. Love it. So Storm Strike, it's going to be the one thing that you actually use to do damage. It is your heavy hitter. It is your... Oh, it's off cooldown. Use this. Yes. This is the ability that you're going to see. It's off cooldown. Use it. Must use it. Must use it. Must use it. Every time. Every time it's up. Use it. Water Walking, no one really gives a crap about. The only downside is it's no longer on Ghost Wolf. This annoys me. I mean, it might be a minor glyph that I could keep. I don't know. Because as you can see, there's no glyphs anymore. Glyphs are gone. So it might be a minor glyph that I could buy and put on. Who cares? Don't know. But I'm kind of sad that water walking doesn't auto-apply when I do this, because this is how I used to get from point A to point B when I need to run across water. Wind Shear, we've already covered. It's our interrupt. It's 12-second cooldown. It prevents anybody from being cast for 3 seconds. It really doesn't matter in boss fights. You're just using it to interrupt that one thing that you have to interrupt on. Maelstrom now, this has changed. Maelstrom used to be you get 5 stacks, instant cast spell. Beautiful, great, no longer. Now, every time your auto attacks and Wind Fury attacks, generate 5 Maelstrom. So essentially, if your Wind Fury procs off your main hand, you can get 20 Maelstrom from it because you get the auto attack plus 3 additional auto attacks, 20 Maelstrom. Nice to have, nice to work with, great. Moving forward, we're going to have Mastery of Elements, which this has changed quite a bit because it increases your chance to trigger Stormbringer and Wind Fury by 2.47% and increases all Fire, Frost, and Nature damage dealt by 39.48%. Why is this important? Because, hey, the more Stormbringers you get, the more Wind Fury procs you get, the more damage you're doing. So it does look like, instead of the way that we are currently looking at it, you'll look at it, my haste is 20%, which is sad. You're not going to be stacking Critical Strike because it's not going to be as important. So these are the 2 things you're going to stack. You're going to stack as much Mastery as possible, as much haste as possible. Beautiful. Gotta love it. Reincarnation, same damn thing. No one cares. Stormbringer, here we go. This is the beautiful part. In each of your main hand attacks has a 7% chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Storm Strike and cause your next Storm Strike to cost 50% less Maelstrom. Let's look at this. 40 Maelstrom per Storm Strike becomes 20. And, no cooldown. Which means that you can hit the double proc on Storm Strike. Instantaneous double proc, lots of burst damage, gotta love it. Storm Lash, while your weapons are enhanced, you have a chance to grant Storm Lash, which will up to 2 party members or raid members for 8 seconds, increase causing their blah blah more nature damage, just more damage. Who cares? At this point, no one cares about that. It's gonna be great for your party, gonna be great for your raid. Yay! Wind Fury again, still the same thing, dealing extra damage. Now, we're going to go over a few different things. 701 eye level, what the hell? Right. Anyway, moving forward. 701 eye level, who cares? Blah, blah, blah. The main point of it is your bread and butter of this, the basic breakdown is Rock Biter, Storm Strike, Lava Lash to offload unusable Maelstrom when this is on cooldown, because during a lot of fights you're going to generate more Maelstrom than you're actually using with Storm Strike because of the cooldown on it, so spread it out with this. On AoE fights, make sure you drop Crash Lightning so it's hitting everything. Lightning Bolt, like, you'll never see me have this on my toolbar. I don't give a damn for it. It's useless. I don't care. Don't care. Please don't even ask me to have it on my toolbar. I'm not going to. Now, moving on. Talents. So, this is where this is going to be very fun, and this is where it's going to be very interesting for you. Alright? So there's a couple things here that are going to break down, and realistically, these down here are going to make a major difference later on. These here, a couple of these are going to make a major difference for us coming up. This here, like your 30 and 45 talents are useless. Are honestly useless. Nobody cares. Windrush Totem will help you out in raids. Like, this is the only talent out of these 6 that matter in PvE. These are the only ones that matter. Is Windrush Totem. Feral Lunge. Oh yeah, you lunge at something. 30-second cooldown. So now we have a minor charge that has a ridiculously long cooldown. PvP might be more useful. Maybe. I'm not a big PvPer on my Handsome Shaman. I did go in Ashran and get all my warmongering blues just so I could be geared enough to hang out with a couple of my friends in dungeons. So let's cover over, like, we're going to skip these talents because I already covered them. I covered what I think of these. I think these are garbage completely. Like, these are the most useless things ever. So if you have to take one, either Voodoo or Earth Grab here, because this just takes way too damn long to proc. So Earth Grab or Voodoo, so we're just going to grab Earth Grab Totem. Oh, I'm in combat. Let me move over here. Okay. I didn't mean to take Feral Lunge. Anyway, so Windrush Totem, these are the only 2 talents that are worth taking. Here, this is kind of where it's going to break down to personal preference. This is going to become something that you're really going to want to pay attention to per fight. Because you can have lots and lots and lots and lots of things do things. Now, here's why I think this is going to be massively different on things. Alright, so Windsong lasts your enemy for 2,500 damage, enhances your weapons to increase your attack speed by 35% for 15 seconds. So, why do I think this is a good talent? And high burst phase bosses that are going to have something like you currently have on Terrangor, or Gorefist, is what he's called in the dungeon right now, right? I think that's what he's called. Raids. Hellfire Citadel. Gorefiend. My bad. Gorefiend. You have a huge burst phase through here, so Windsong would be much better because for 15 seconds during that lust phase, you're going to do a lot more damage. That's the one time I would say you want to take this talent. You want this talent because it is going to do much more damage for you because you're hitting more attacks. That being said, this passive, melee attacks with Flame Tongue active have a chance to make your next Lava Lash cost no Maelstrom and deal 100% increased damage. So, you're gonna have Maelstrom active the whole time. There's not a single time that you are ever not gonna have, or not Maelstrom, wow, I just screwed that up. But anyway, that's besides the point. You're gonna have Flame Tongue up through a boss fight 100% of the time, all the time, no questions asked, period. You're gonna have it up. So why not get this free 100% increased damage? So you're talking right now, it does 16,145 damage. 100% increase on that to make it do 32,000. Makes it hit just as hard, for the most part, as Storm Strike. Yes, this is where I will say this one talent in elongated fights will probably overseed this one. Because you're only going to have this up, let's say, twice every 2 minutes. It's 3 times. So basically, you're going to have it up 4 times every 3 minutes. This, you're going to get procs on a lot more. So I think this is the better talent to take in most situations. Boulder Fist replaces Rock Biter. 5-second recharge time. Here's where I like it and I don't like it at the same time. And the reason for this is because it slams your target with nature damage, causing you to have this. Increases your critical strike by 10%. All damage should be up by 5%. Okay. Okay, it generates 25 Maelstrom. So now, the only downside to this is you're now waiting on this cooldown to be able to generate more Maelstrom aside from auto attacks. Is this the better talent? In some cases it might be. In some cases it might not be. These two are going to be the deciding factor that you kind of decide through your playstyle. I like hot hands. I'm going to stick with that. Tier 60. Okay. Okay. Help. Why? Why, Blizzard? Why do you do this to us? Hailstorm sucks. It sucks. It's a PvP talent in this level 60 line that no one gives a shit about. If you use this, more power to you. It's shit. Fuck it. Don't have it. Lightning Shield. This used to be just base. Now it's talent. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody really wants to use this because it's not the increased damage percentage that you need. Here. This is what you want. Ancestral Swiftness. Increase haste by 10%. Let me explain to you why. Haste. Haste means more auto attacks. More auto attacks mean more damage. More damage, better shit. Reason for this as well? Reduces the cooldown on your Storm Strike. Haste, again, is going to be what you want to stack. Now, so, with that being said, you could kind of pick between these two, whichever you feel is more. I don't think you're going to be... I don't think this is going to proc enough for it to be worth the swap out from Ancestral Swiftness. I don't think so. Test it out, find out for yourself. I didn't like it. Coming down to here, this talent tree. Tempest. Stormbringer now affects the next 2 Storm Strikes, which means when it procs, you can now have the triple Storm Strike. Beautiful. I mean, you're talking about burst damage right there. No cost, or 20 on the 20. Beautiful. Yes. My favorite talent here. Overcharge. Lightning Bolt now consumes this. Blah, 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 but has a 6-second cooldown. No. It still doesn't do enough damage. 1,500% more damage of 2k. No. Doesn't even compare to what Tempest does. Doesn't even compare. Empowered Stormlash. Stormlash now spreads to 1 additional target and increases the damage by 20% additional damage. Meh. Yes! No! Tempest. Just go Tempest. Trust me, just go Tempest. It's much better. Much better. Much better. Now, moving on. Crash Storm, Fury of Air, and Sundering. Which one do we think is going to be the better one here? Crash Lightning now electrifies the ground. Here's what I was telling you earlier on in the video, where there was a talent that we were going to have that was going to make our lovely Crash Lightning do something worthwhile. This is great because it affects the ground. 6 seconds, extra nature damage. AoE trash fights, AoE fights where you're going to be having them grouped up a lot, which as far as I can see in the videos is not often. Crash Lightning is the thing to take during those times. Fury of Air, 5 Maelstrom plus 5 Maelstrom per second. This and this, it's going to be hard to determine what does more damage, what is the more beneficial thing for it. The reason why I say this is because this is great. 5 Maelstrom to activate plus 5 per second. You're going to generate the Maelstrom to keep this going for a long period of time, but you're dealing 2,000 damage every second to an enemy caught in it. But you've got to keep that up. You've got to keep it up for it to be worthwhile. So during heavy AoE fights, yes, this might be the better talent. Sundering, shatters the line in earth, blah, 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 knocks him to the side. Garbage. Never, 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 never would you take this. Because why the fuck? Why would you want to knock your split the targets up? Now, there might be some point in a raid that this is worth having. Right now, these are your 2 things to look at. I'm going to take Crashing Storm for right now just because. Your final line, your level 100 talents, your 100 things. Here we go. Ascendancy, mad at you, Blizzard, for this. I'm really mad at you for this. There's no reason that you should have taken out Ascendancy from baseline spell and made it a talent. I guess you gotta be like, fuck, we only got 2 talents for 100. What do we do? Throw Ascendancy in there. Facepalm. Moment of silence for Ascendancy being removed. That being said, this is probably going to be your go-to talent because it generates 10 Maelstrom per second. You're in it for 15 seconds, so it's 150 Maelstrom. So as long as you're spamming abilities, you're dealing damage. Drop my toolbar. It's beautiful. Gives you some increased. Here's why I love this, because your wind attacks bypass armor, so it kind of like makes you hit a little bit harder. Very beautiful. Gotta love it. This is probably your go-to talent for the most part. 3-minute cooldown. Rockbiter now also enhances your weapon, increasing your agility by 8% for 10 seconds. Strike that, I might have been wrong. You might take this one over everything. Flat agility by 8%. Beautiful, baby. Earth and Spike. This is debatable here. Okay, so Earth and Spike deals damage, exposing them, increasing physical and nature damage you deal by 10% for 10 seconds. What do we think? What do we think? What do we think? Well, here's what I think. 10 seconds for 10% increased damage. Up 50% of the fight, because you're going to use it every 20 seconds. Every time it's off cooldown, use it. So you're getting 10% increased damage. Now, if you're spamming Rockbiter, you're keeping 8% agility 100% of the fight. I think I like the agility better. Now, Ascendancy might be better, might not be. It kind of comes down to what you believe. What? I don't know what. Piece of... Anyway, this has been my... Oh, Honor Talent's now available. I'm sorry, Honor. Oh, level! I get 1. Yay! Anyway, that's been my in-depth guide for the baseline abilities and everything else. I will go out and film after the server restart here some combat things to throw in onto a video. I'll go a little bit more breakdown into using the different talents that I see, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. And also release a video coming up later about other things that I think are going to be important in World of Warcraft going forward, things like that. Don't put too much into it, just enjoy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike, hate me in the comments, love me in the comments. I don't care. Do what you like. This is the free world. Do what you like. Okay, maybe that's a little too political. Shut up. No one asked you. Have a good day. Thanks for putting up with me ranting and raving for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever this video is. Have a great day.